They're two happy women bringing you inspiring stories, politics, pop culture, and lifestyle hacks, all with an eye to making our communities and our country a better place to live. It's the Happy Women Podcast with your hosts, Jen Horn and Katie Gorka.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making big waves in Congress this week. He is making America healthy again, and I think we're all here for it. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Women Podcast. I'm Jennifer Horn.
And I'm Katie Gorka.
And joining us today, she's back. Our friend Kim Bright is here from Brightcore. They have a huge array of fantastic products. And I have to tell you, Kim, welcome first. The last time you were on the program, we talked about collagen and the Revive product. And I am telling you that I've been using it twice a day and my hair is longer. It is stronger. I am such a fan of the product. So before we jump into some of the other things, I just wanted to say thank you for that because I've really noticed a difference.
Well, awesome. I'm so glad you're sharing it. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about what's been going on this week. We had a press conference with President Trump and with RFK Jr. with a big announcement about big pharma. Now, he used some words that some conservatives may go, ooh, I don't know about this, but we all know we have a problem with pharmaceuticals. People are very much addicted to big pharma, to the prescription drugs that they need or that they want, and we know that we have a pricing problem as well. And so President Trump said he's going to try to lower those prices 30 to 80%. RFK was with him and commended Trump for standing up to big pharma. Kim, what did you think of that press conference?
I got very excited about it because the Dems have been jibber jabbering for decades about how when they're out there trying to win votes, we're going to lower drug prices, we're going to get them low. They never been able to do it. So finally we have some competency, in President Trump, and he'll get the job done. And so will RFK Jr. And I love the part where RFK Jr. shared that his two children, who are Democrats, by the way, they started tearing up when they heard this news because they're all for it. And believe me, I'd like to see people not on drugs as much as possible. But I know there are a lot of people, especially seniors out there, that depend on these and that they're really stressed out economically with the way they price the drugs prior to President Trump doing what he's going to do. So I think that's going to give a tremendous amount of relief. And plus, I think it was a brilliant chess move on his part to put it in right now and announce it right now before that big, beautiful bill that he wants passed. He put it in, slides it in, and who's going to not want that in all of these Democrats' areas? And if they don't vote for it, they go back. I don't know if they're going to get renominated and elected.
Real quick, Katie, what made me laugh is I thought for sure that the mainstream news media would be celebrating this big announcement because it's very on tune to what the Democrats have been talking about. Bernie Sanders talking about lowering drug prices. But I actually heard, this is no joke, that Donald Trump is going to kill the future of our healthcare system in the country with this because lowering the prescription drug prices is going to end R&D, research and development, and he's just going to ruin everything. It's amazing to me how they flip-flop, but just a little anecdotal story about what I heard on CNN, I think it was, after that announcement.
Well, and I find the whole discussion about pricing of drugs is so interesting right now, especially with regard to California. I was shocked. So, Newsom's coming out and making some heavy, heavy cuts to spending, but I was absolutely shocked when I actually saw the numbers in California. 2014, Medi-Cal was spending $17 billion a year. In just 10 years, that has gone up to $44 billion. I mean, wow. That is insane, and it's not sustainable. So the drug pricing is relevant to everybody. But let's talk about this. One of the things that we've also, I think, really started to talk about more and more as a nation, as a culture, is the way big pharma has created a sort of a culture of sickness, right, or a sick care system rather than really a healthcare system. Kim, talk to us about that because you're so deep into this space. How are you seeing that, and what do you see as the antidote?
Well, they definitely created a machine over decades and generations that it's the sick machine. It's not a health machine. This has not been healthcare. This has been sick care. And what's interesting is, I know you all know this, but maybe the audience isn't aware of this, but Big Pharma is the largest lobby on the Hill.
Yeah.
And for every congressperson is 1 to 3 pharma lobbyists, big pharma lobbyists. This is insanity. So Congress has been owned by these people forever. And now the light shines on it and we'll get the truth. We'll actually get transparency. Do you know that over 129 million Americans have been diagnosed with at least one chronic disease? At least one. Okay. This is ridiculous. And this just is showing how much machinery they've put in place and how people are on this wheel. And it's time to exit and to understand what to eat, how and how to get well and not be on this sick machine.
Let's talk about that, because I think all three of us are big believers in preventative medicine. I don't see, Kim, we're just getting to know you in our time together. But if I can avoid taking any sort of prescription drug, that's what I want to do. I want to avoid taking anything. Yes. I'd rather look at natural cures. What are some of the things that we can do to reverse the damage? This way of thinking about, really profiting off of people's sickness and then prescribing more drugs when they get sick from the drugs they might already be on. How can we reverse that?
Yeah, it's definitely, this whole thing is built on addressing symptom, changing it into another symptom. It's not addressed at what my philosophy is let's look at the cause. Let's always address the cause. And, we have the highest rates of cancer and diabetes and digestive issues and brain issues in this country. And it just kept going up and up and up. So there was no improvement. But even Dr. Oz said the other day, it's every American's patriotic duty to get healthy, which I think is great. But how do we do that? Well, we first have to decide that what we've been doing is not getting us well. So, and if you're on drugs or you've had surgeries or you just are continually at the doctor not feeling well, the first thing that you have to decide is I'm going to change. I'm going to change some things. And what do you need to do? You need to understand that the things that you need to change are not eating those ultra processed foods. Like stay away from anywhere when you walk into a supermarket. Don't go anywhere except the perimeter of it, because that's where real food lies. All the other aisles are filled with processed foods. They're full of all kinds of chemicals. And so start reading labels. That is what, you've got to take some responsibility. Start reading those labels, start changing the diet, make sure you stay hydrated, because if you're not drinking enough water, your body can't utilize the nutrients properly and also can't get rid of waste. Yay. It's good. And get regular exercise, because that's oxygenating the body. And also the body can't function properly without a good amount of oxygen in there. You'll sleep better. But the one thing that we must do, and that we can be in charge of, because we're exposed every single day in our food supply, our water supply, and our air that we're breathing. We've got all these chemicals that are coming at us, and we don't have control over a lot of that. But what we do have control over is where our health actually starts, and that's in our gut. That's where our health starts, or that's where our sickness starts. And so we must fix the gut.
So I grew up with a lot of gut issues, right? And I don't think I'm unusual. I've got so many friends now that are dealing with this. I have my own, I'm not a doctor, but I have my own personal theory. I do think the fact that we rely so heavily on antibiotics is a problem, right? Because that does a lot to kill the gut healthiness. So I actually got tuned into kimchi really early on. I don't know why, but I started paying attention to the importance of fermented foods. And I think this is one of those things that we've really lost sight of in Western culture, right? We've gone to these quick fixes, quick raised breads, right? We don't do sourdough. Thankfully, a lot of these things are coming off. But I think one of the best foods, and I honestly, I either eat it every day or I take it in a supplement every day, is kimchi. And so I love the fact that when we connected with you, that was one of the things that you also put a lot of focus in. So talk to us. I'm curious, what drew you to kimchi? What did you see in kimchi that you weren't seeing in other products?
Well, I've been helping people with their health for almost 50 years now, and I studied a lot of traditional methodologies of fixing fermented food, as well as studying diets of people that were living to be over 100. And so what were the things that were there were fermented foods in these diets, right? And I wanted to know, well, what's the most powerful fermented food, or is there a most powerful food that's fermented? And yes, I will say kimchi wins hands down. It's got over 900 different probiotics in it, and it has unique strains that have not been found in any other fermented food anywhere, or any other food for that matter. It is actually known, it's been used for centuries in Korea, and they call it their affordable care, because they eat it every single day. Some of them even eat it at every single meal, because it's just teeming with all of this goodness to really supply our gut with what it needs. And in fermentation, why fermentation is so important, especially if you have problems in your gut, is it pre-digests the food, where your body is able to utilize it better. And it's high in fiber, high in live active enzymes, high in antioxidants, which are great for, anti-aging. And it's such a super powerful food that the Koreans adore it so much that they actually made a museum in the 80s. And it's considered one of the top museums in the world now, food museums.
Wow.
And they opened one up a couple of years ago in Hawaii. So this just shows you the adoration and how powerful this one food is, this fermented food, kimchi.
Before we end, I want to talk about the product. I have a question, because talking about this and just really underscoring it, I think for people who are listening, I used to work with the guy who was a dairy farmer, very much into raw milk products and very much a naturopath. And I think one thing I learned from him is that everything that goes on in your body really starts with your gut and your gut health. And these fermented foods, kimchi, probiotics, that is so important for your complete body health. It's not just for people with stomach issues. This is where really all of our health kind of starts, is in our gut. Would you agree with that, Kim?
Most definitely. That's why we decided to take this food that is a very foreign smelling and tasting food to most Americans, that they're kind of like, Katie, I was surprised that you eat it every day.
I know. She's like, I love it.
but you're not the normal people here that don't, they're like, oh, it does have a very different smell and taste than Americans are used to eating. And so these benefits are so wide and vast, and we wanted people to be able to have these benefits. So we want them to take it every day. And we wanted it to be convenient, and we wanted it to still contain all those beneficial bacteria, live active enzymes, fiber, and antioxidants. So we came up with a cold processing way that retains all of those things, and we were able to put it in a capsule. And, what's so exciting is how it does really improve our gut digestion and health. We have this colony, and it can be up to 9 pounds in our gut. It's called our microbiome. And it is trillions of different critters down there.
9
now, there's
pounds.
the good guys, the good bacteria, but then we have the bad guys, the bad players. We have the molds, the yeast, the fungi, the parasites. And one of the great things about kimchi, too, is also that it's antimicrobial. Now, what does that mean? That means that it's antiviral, anti-bad bacteria, antifungal, and anti-parasitic. So it goes after the bad guys, if you will. It's kind of like most people have a war going on in their gut. That's why they have the bloating. That's why they have the gas. That's why they're bending over after they eat, or they're having diarrhea or constipation. They've got all this stuff going on. And we want to send the special ops, if you will, in the special forces, which are the kimchi guys, the probiotics in kimchi, those 900 special unique probiotics, going in there and killing off the bad guys, because kimchi is so powerful that it actually targets candida, which you can't believe how many people have candida yeast in their bodies. So it actually seeks it out, targets it, and kills it. It can kill off E. coli. It can kill off other pathogens. And the list is enormous of what what it can actually do. So when you do this, when you take the kimchi every day, you're improving your regularity. You're improving, people immediately notice constipation going away. They notice their digestion's better. You're also, kimchi helps bile produce. And so what does bile do? Bile actually helps us break down our fat, and it actually helps improve our absorption of the nutrients that we get. So kimchi also aids and abets in that. And we have 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So when we aren't taking care of our gut, then of course we're going to get sick because the bad guys are taking over. Our immunity can't function right. And all health is starting in the gut. And we have the gut-brain axis. So we have brain health being affected. We have gut-skin axis. Anytime you have a dirty gut, and the bad guys are winning, you're going to have eczema, you're going to have itchy skin, you're going to have acne, pimples, rosacea, all kinds of skin conditions are going to show up when you have that gut microbiome totally out of balance. And then you've got the skin, as I said, the hair, the whole body. And it's gut affects everything, every single tissue, cell, organ in our body.
So Jen and I talk a lot about weight loss because we have both worked hard to lose weight. So I had put on a bunch of weight when I had my kids, and it took me about 30 years, but I finally got rid of it.
She did it.
Yeah, because because we've both worked with a great company called PhD Weight Loss. But one of the reasons I also love kimchi as a supplement is because it also helps with the weight loss process.
Yes, and there's so many studies. I mean, they've been using this, as I said, for centuries in Korea. So you can imagine the magnitude of studies they have over there and the volume of studies. Well, there's one in particular that was most recent where they took age 20 to 65-year-olds, and you had to have digestive problems, and you were trying to solve some obesity problems. You had to have a high body mass index. And so they did a 12-week study with these people where they ate kimchi every single day. And their waistlines were reduced. Their BMI came down. Their metabolism went up. They weren't craving the bad foods. They were eating less. Their hair improved. The biggest thing too, we'll get to the hair in a minute. They were all saying, I'm not full of poop anymore. That was a good thing because they were, a lot of the weight, people don't understand how much poop you can have in there that weighs a lot. And then it gets hard and everything. And then it covers the villi, which are the little protrusions, finger-like protrusions that are, in our small intestine, and they're there to absorb nutrients. They can't do their job. So people are so relieved. And when you're full of poop, you're not thinking too good. You're cloudy. You're not in a good mood, and that's another thing kimchi helps with promoting the neurotransmitter serotonin that is made in our gut. And serotonin is our happy hormone. It also acts as a hormone, our happy neurotransmitter. So people that have depression, anxiety, this improves that as well. So all these things were noted, not just the weight loss, but so many things improved by getting rid of, the extra stuff in our intestines that need to be evacuated every day.
Absolutely. Now, you guys do a ton of products. And again, mybrightcore.com is a great place to go to check out the full product line, mybrightcore.com, because you have so many amazing products, clean, American made. I mean, just really great things over at your website, Kim. But this kimchi product, I know you've said, has exploded in popularity and people are really wanting to try it. Why do you think that is? What makes this such a standout?
Well, first and foremost, I think people feel and see the difference in such a short period of time. I mean, they even have, not only do they feel it first in their digestive tract, then they're sleeping better, they have higher energy, skin things clear up, all this, but they have people telling them, your skin looks better. You you're happier, you look better, your hair looks different. What are you using? And so people will compliment them, and then those people will say, I want what you're using, and they'll call us in and say, Sheila, my friend, is using this stuff, so she looks so good, and she's happier now, and she's losing weight, and I want to get some of this stuff. And so I think the result is in seeing and feeling difference, right away. People, like I said, they see their hair improving, their hair's getting thicker. They have more hair on their head. They get so many compliments about their skin. They feel their digestion improves first and foremost, right away. And everybody knows, when your digestion's off, you're not feeling too happy. Higher energy levels, sleeping better. And, a lot of the people are telling us, I don't get flu anymore like I used to. I don't get sick because, again, that immune system being 70 to 80% in our gut is able to function normally and do the thing it was intended to do. So all the communications can go out correctly when it's not flooded with all the bad guys.
Just a quick follow-up, real quick. I'm so sorry, Katie, on that. But because we haven't talked about how to use the product, what's great, Katie's brave and she does the kimchi every day. But if you don't like the taste or the smell, you've made it into this capsule. How do people take the product? So how many capsules do we take a day? How does that work?
Well, there's 90 capsules in a bottle, so that's a month's supply. You take 3 a day, and that is the amount that I've looked at all these different studies that they've done on all areas of the body. And what we did is we put the amount that is like the middle amount that they do on these studies, so people can really get the right amount every day in 3 capsules to really see the results. And so they just take them, get up in the morning, take
all
them with
once.
water, and very simple and very easy. So that's all they need to do.
So now, do you have an exclusive offer for our listeners?
Yes, I do, Katie.
We love presents.
Yes, we've got, you go to mybrightcore.com/happy. That's mybrightcore.com/happy. And you're going to get up to 25% off using that code happy. But what I really like people to do is call and let us talk to you and make sure that this is the right thing for you, because I'm an educator. I love to educate people. I like people understanding how their bodies work. They can ask questions of our staff. You can't do that online. So call 888-927-5980, and we're going to give you up to 50% off of your order, plus free shipping. And if you're one of the first 100 callers, we're going to also give you a free bottle of vitamin D3. So that's so important too for your overall health. So call 888-927-5980.
That is so incredible. And I want to encourage people. The kimchi product is absolutely fantastic. You were so nice to let us try it. And obviously, this is something that's fantastic. I've been loving the collagen. There's a huge product line that you can check out, mybrightcore.com. But try that kimchi. If you've been feeling like your immunity is down, if you've been feeling like your stomach maybe isn't feeling like it's running at its optimum peak, maybe you want to lose a little bit of weight, mybrightcore.com. Mybrightcore.com is the website. And as Kim mentioned, make that phone call because they can help you try to figure out what is going to be perfect for you, depending on your needs. 888-927-5980. The code is happy, by the way. 888-927-5980. You can use code happy at checkout at mybrightcore.com, or when you call, mention Happy Women Podcast, 888-927-5980. And Kim, we so appreciate what you're doing for all of us. I have to say, getting to know you has been such an incredible process, knowing that you share our ideals and that you are kind of in it with us to try to improve the health. We're all part of that MAHA movement. So we love having you here.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to do this for 50 years, but now the troops have arrived. So
thankfully.
It's hard doing it on your own, but now we got a lot of people out there that are very interested to do it. And I think we're going to make some great strides forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you guys
so
for all
much.
you do.
Thanks.
We appreciate you, Kim. We'll give you the website one more time. Again, you can try the kimchi. You can look at the whole product line. MyBrightcore.com is the website. Use code HAPPY there to save some money and call. You'll save even more and you'll get a nice consultation. And that's all included with your phone call at 888-927-5980, 888-927-5980, and tell them the Happy Women podcast sent you when you do. Kim Bright, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, ladies. Have a beautiful, blessed day.
Thank you.
Always fun. And don't forget, you can pick up Katie's book. It's called Next Gen Marxism. You can do that while you're feeling extra healthy this summer because of your Brightcore products. That would be great. Find that wherever you get your books. And of course, you can check her out, katiegorka.org. Search her out on Facebook. Just look for Catherine Gorka, or on X at Gorka Katie. You can also follow me. I'm at Jennifer Horn Radio on Instagram and Facebook, and at Jennifer Horn on X and on Truth Social. And thank you so much for those 5-star reviews. Keep sharing Happy Women with your friends. We appreciate you. All you have to do is search out Happy Women wherever you get your podcasts, or SalemPodcastNetwork.com/Happy Women. Thanks for joining us. It's another episode of the Happy Women Podcast.